Namaste. Many years ago, Adi Shankaracharya posed a stanza, a mantra, a shlok. It's not shlok, a statement in Sanskrit, which says Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, which literally means Brahman is true and this whole world, this whole universe is false. Is it true? Many people have discussed this over the years. Many learned people argued in support of this statement or in opposition of this statement. So whoever can think of about the normal activities can certainly say one or the other, that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, meaning Brahma is the only truth, the whole universe is false. Or somebody say Brahma Satya Jagat Satya, Brahma is truth and this world is also truth. So whether it is true or not, let's try to inspect that in the lights of quantum physics. Many years ago, Albert Einstein, when he moved from Germany to America in Princeton, he met with two physicists and they three got together. They were opposing certain behaviors in quantum physics, certain theories in quantum physics. They did not believe that quantum physics is the ultimate evolution of the physics or its answers all the questions. So they were doubting certain theories. So they came up with a proposal, a white paper, which is called EPR paradox, Einstein, Podolsky, Rosen. EPR paradox, which says something like this. Let me try to explain it in simple words. So small particles like electrons, photons, when they emit from single source at the same time, they are called entangled. Let's try to understand. Let's say this is one source. From this source, two electrons are emitting at the same time. One goes in the right direction, so obviously the other has to go into opposite direction, meaning left side. Now there is a magnet in the path of the right side electron. Now based on the position of that magnet, the electron will deflect. So let's say when the electrons emitted two electrons at the same time, the magnet was in the direction, this direction, say forward, I'm just assuming. So electron has to deflect when it reaches the magnetic field to the straight line. So when, let's say, electron is emitting from here, so it's going in the right direction. When it reaches the magnetic field, it deflects into front direction. Now, while the electron is in the middle, it's still in the flight to reach the magnetic field. I change the position of the magnet. From straight, I make it like this. So now the deflection will happen and the electron will go downwards. Instead of going straight, it will go downward. So the other electron has to do exactly opposite. So what is going to happen? Two electrons emitted, the magnet was in this position, while in the flight, in the middle of their destination, right side electron is, before reaching the magnet position is changed. Now the deflection will happen, it will go downward. Instantaneously, the other electron will go upwards. What was its original path? It has to go to the left and then back, because the right side electron would go forward. So the other has to go backward. So as soon as this right side electron went downward, the other went, instead of going to backward, it went upward. So it followed exactly opposite path. How is it happening? Nobody knows. And Einstein described it as a spooky behavior at distance. So that is called EPR paradox. Now this is theory. It's just mental exercise. It has to be proved. So some physicist, a big name is Bell, he demonstrated this experimentally first, many years back. He did it with the photons, I think, in a closed lab environment, and he proved that EPR paradox do exist. It's real. So after that, some physicists started questioning Bell's experiment, saying in a closed environment, all the devices that he used might already be knowing their positions and what is going to happen next and all that. So somehow they exchange information beforehand, which we don't know, which we don't understand, but somehow they communicated all that, meaning the future events and all that. So last year or so, some physicists in, if I am not mistaken, Germany, they took out the equation of this closed environment type thing to prove EPR paradox. So what they did was they took a laser source, and there were two telescopes at 3 kilometer distance, and those telescopes had filters to to deflect the light. So those filters were controlled, not manually or not automatically by any means that exist on Earth, but instead they looked at quasars. Billions of light years away, they are quasars which emit enormous light. So they use that light, two different quasars at two different telescopes, to control their filters. And then they demonstrated that EPR paradox do exist, and that's real. It's more real than anything else. So now physicists, many actually after Bell's experiment proved that EPR paradox do exist, some physicists started developing theories to support that and to explain the behavior of this universe. So they came up with a theory called holographic universe. So in holographic universe, what happens is all the particles that emit, they start from single source, and when they crisscross their paths, the information is kind of stored, preserved in multiple patterns. So they think that everything we see, everything we experience, everything in existence is nothing but interaction of particles from the single source. So everything came from single source in this universe, and over the years, because of its uncontrolled motion, there are many interactions among particles, and this whole world came into existence. So what they say is what we see, what we touch, what we experience around us, it's false, it's not truth. Let's say we see moon, we see sun, galaxies, stars, they are at distance, but there is nothing like space. Space does not exist. It's just our interaction with certain objects make us feel that there is space, but in reality the space does not exist. The objects we see around us, including our bodies, animals and all that, or even celestial objects, they are just a reflection of something from some higher realm. And well, so on that higher realm, everything is one, and it's just projecting differently. That's why we see or experience space, but in reality space does not exist. It is just our experience, our interaction that makes us feel the space, but in reality we are one. So this whole world is false. So Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Isn't that true? Now we know our Upanishads and also Big Bang theory say that there was a cosmic egg, and from that cosmic egg all the particles, after that boom, everything came into existence over the years. So we have single source for everything. What does it signify? Whatever I am doing here must be affecting some particles elsewhere in this universe. Whatever action I do now or whatever actions I have done in past is affecting some part of the universe somewhere, or something, some part of the universe, something is happening and that is affecting me. Why? Because we are particles, we have particles from the same source. So we all are interconnected. Sutre Mani Gana Eva. Gita says this. Krishna says this. Sutre Mani Gana Eva. We are all attached through a single string. So whatever happens to me or whatever I am doing is affecting the whole universe in some way. Or whatever is happening in the whole universe is somehow affecting me. Pranam.